Hello YouTube, this is Mr. Saska Dragon and welcome to another episode of Which Card is Best. Today we have Upstart Goblin and Pot of Duality. Upstart Goblin. Draw one card, then your opponent gains 1000 life points. Pot of Duality. Reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add one of those cards to your hand, then shuffle your deck. You can only activate one Pot of Duality per turn. You cannot special summon a monster or monsters during the turn you activated this card. Okay, this is a tricky one because Upstart Goblin has a good side and a downside, because if you want to game your opponent, you draw a card but they gain life points. So they can use things like, if they really got low life points, they can use their Sun of Warnings again, they can use other powerful cards that cost life points. Whereas you, on the other hand, get to draw a card but they gain life points. But if it's in the middle of the game where you're about to win anyway, it's not going to really matter. Plus you get extra draw power. Whereas Pot of Duality is quite interesting, because when I was speaking to one of my friends, they were saying, well, you get to draw 3 cards, right? And he goes, the idea is you get to reveal 3 cards into the future, which is a good thing. He goes, but the downside, of course, is the special summoning part. He goes, because if you draw a card that you really need to change the game, you cannot use that card and you're restricted. So Pot of Duality is a really good card, but has a big downside to it. If it didn't have that downside, it would be broken. So Pot of Duality is a really good card because you get to draw 3 cards instead of 1 like Upstart Goblin, but you can't special summon. So Pot of Duality gives you that option of choosing one of 3 cards, and your opponent gets to see as well, so they can see what you're adding to your hand, which sometimes is a good thing and sometimes is a bad thing, because if they see what cards you choose, they're going to be thinking, okay, you chose a certain specific card, I know your next move. So they may be like, okay. So if that monster you can't special summon that turn, you have to wait another turn to use it. Whereas your opponent's already figured out what you're going to be doing, and they've already set up a defense or set up a counter attack to get rid of that card. Whereas Upstart Goblin, you draw a card, your opponent cannot see what you drew, and of course your opponent gains 1000 life points. So it's an interesting way of looking at things, because Upstart Goblin's really good in one way, and so is Pot of Duality. They both have their massive restrictions. Upstart Goblin, your opponent gains 1000, which sometimes can be good, sometimes can be bad. Pot of Duality, you get to reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, so you get to see 3 turns into the future, but you can't special summon any of those cards that you added to your hand, or anything you've got in your hand you cannot special summon. So sometimes Pot of Duality is good, sometimes it's bad. Same with Upstart Goblin. But of course, what do you think? What do you think about these 2 brilliant drawing cards? Do you think Upstart Goblin's better? Or do you think Pot of Duality is good because you get to reveal 3 cards in the future but you can't special summon? Please tell me what you think. I'd like to hear what you think. So this is Mr. Saska Dragon signing out. And remember, only real men use Watapon.